Maneva na se ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
What the best in the step they are going to take this morning. But I want to remind them that today's exercise is not or should not be seen as just an internal party process. But they should see it as a national exercise. Because today their task is to choose somebody who the party is going to present to Ghana and who certainly has the potential to become the president of Ghana. They are going to choose somebody who is going to take an oath. Going to take an oath to be faithful to Ghana. That means that person is taking an oath to be faithful to the values of Ghana. It's taking an oath to be faithful to the ideals of Ghana. It's taking an oath to commit himself to fulfill the agenda of Ghana, as has been expressed by the people in the 1992 Constitution, the Directive Principles of State Policy, and as from time to time may be required. He will also take an oath to protect, to defend, and preserve the Constitution of Ghana. You get a picture. So they're going to protect the values stated clearly in the Constitution. So the values of probity and accountability. They say they're going to protect, they're going to defend, they're going to preserve. They also say they're going to protect, preserve, and defend the principles of the rule of law. You understand? All the values clearly stated under the Constitution of Ghana. That person will also take an oath, should he win, to dedicate themselves to the well-being of all Ghanaians. That's the agenda. That's the job, terms of reference for the role that they are going to choose the person for. And they must be guided by that. The person they're going to choose is the person capable of being faithful to Ghana. The person capable of being faithful to the ideals of Ghana. Is a person capable of being faithful to the agenda of Ghana. Chief amongst them is an agenda to unite the people of Ghana, irrespective of their tribal allegiance, irrespective of their partisan considerations, irrespective of their religious leanings. They are going to be faithful to this agenda of Ghana. Is the person capable of that? They're going to choose somebody who, and they should ask themselves, will this person be able to defend, preserve, and protect the laws of Ghana, the Constitution of Ghana? Will the person be able to protect and preserve and defend the principles of probity and accountability? Will the person be able to do that? Will the person be able to dedicate themselves to the well-being of Ghana? Will the person be able to defend the values of the principles of the rule of law? Will the person be able to do that? They should think about that also. Now, the NPP themselves, they say this. They say that they are going to choose somebody who reflects, or the spirit of the elephant will choose for them who they should sponsor. They say it all the time. They say it with pride. That the spirit of the elephant will choose for them who. And so, Senna, I've said it so many times, for us as Ghanaians, because like I'm saying, we are also interested. Because the person they choose wouldn't just be the party, even if the person was going to be the party chairman, we still would have an interest. They're going to choose somebody who will be presented to us. And right now, I think their party constitution is clear. The presidential candidate is not the leader of the party. At all times, their party chairman is the leader of the party. So, strictly, there's somebody they are going to choose who they are going to present to us to make a decision on. So then their key consideration ought to be Ghana. But I have a few observations. The first question for me is the NPP capable of choosing somebody with the interest of Ghana at heart? Is the NPP as a political organization, is it capable of picking somebody with the interest of Ghana at heart? Can they? And my view is my answer is an emphatic no. And that emphatic no is steeped in history. That emphatic no is steeped in how they've managed themselves when they found themselves in power. That emphatic no is seen in how they've managed this campaign. This emphatic no is seen in the spirit, in the culture within the NPP. It is an emphatic no. Yesterday, was it yesterday or Thursday? I was surprised to see a directive by the party to national security that they do not want national security there. They only want the police. Is the election going to be held in Azerbaijan? What is the fundamental job of government? To protect the security of its citizens. What power and authority does the party have to say that we don't want national security there when the elections is being held in Ghana? But that statement is a reflection of the thinking, is a reflection of the thinking of their party. NPP do not have the interest of Ghana at that. Now, you recall that in 2008, during when Honorable Alan Chamanten took a decision to resign from the party after the NPP's elections, presidential elections again. And you see, now let's play this in proper context. In that election, Anado didn't get the needed 50+1. He had about 40-something%. Now Alan Chamanten said, listen, for the sake of the party, for us to preserve our unity, for us to preserve our limited resources, I'm not going to subject you to a runoff. I'm going to allow my senior brother Anado to continue. We all watch that contest live. So the happiness, the joy, NPP has seemingly crossed that line and had come out unscathed. However, events subsequent, beating up of Alan Chamanten supporters, the victimization of his supporters caused him to say that, listen, if because of me you're going to attack innocent people, then I don't think you need me in the party, so I'm going to resign. Then the party elders quickly met and then agreed that and convinced Alan Chamanten to come back. Now, the aftermath of what the party did caused one of the biggest names, stalwarts in the history of the NPP, B.J. Darocha, to pen a letter to the party. Now, that letter is very instructive if you want to understand the fuel that drives NPP's politics. In that letter, B.J. Darocha made a case for why Alan Chamanten should not be accepted back into the NPP. In that letter, his reason for stating that Alan Chamanten should not be received, should not be accepted back, is that Alan Chamanten has shown in the course of his politics that if he's asked to choose Ghana over the NPP, he will choose Ghana. And because of that, they should not receive him, because he does not bear their spirit, their character, their focus, their fuel is different. Are you following? So that letter stated clearly what fuels the NPP. What fuels them is not for us to create this strong political Ghana, to create a Ghana that will reclaim its position as the Black Star of Africa, to create a Ghana that will be the leader of this Pan-African agenda. No, that is not the agenda. To create a Ghana where all of our individual ambitions can find a place in, that is not the agenda. That is not the agenda. And you find that in the letter B.J. Darocha wrote. Is the NPP capable of choosing a leader who is going to be faithful to Ghana? You recall that during the reign of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and there again, I must state emphatically that the party and the government are different. They're not one and the same. We keep on saying, oh, the ruling government, ruling party, ruling party, ruling party. But the truth of the matter is that parties sponsor people to hold political power. In the strictest sense of the word, the party and the government are not the same in the terms of our constitution. You understand? The duty of the party, having sponsored the government or having sponsored the president, believing that the president is going to deliver governance that aligns to the party's values. The duty of the party is to call the people they've sponsored to order where they are seen to be veering off. So people ask me, my lawyer, you seem to be in love with this NDC party, even though you're not a member. This current one. Because the party is strong. The party has constantly shown that they are not afraid to pull the government they sponsored back on track where they think that the government is going off track. You understand? When Nanado was delivering to Ghanaians a governance which in all shapes and forms was adverse not just to the interests of Ghana, but was against the ethos, the values, the principles of the NPP. Because one of the fundamental beliefs of the NPP party, we are going to trace their history, and I think it's even stated clearly in their constitution, in the objectives. The NPP claims that they believe in decentralized government. They claim so. They claim they believe in decentralized government. They claim they believe in small government as against large government. That's what they say. They say they believe in laissez-faire kind of government. Nanado arguably gave us one of the biggest governments. Over 125 ministers. One of the biggest. He gave us one of the most centralized governments we have ever seen. What did the party say, or what did the party do? In spite of the agenda we set for all our governments, per chapter 6 of our 1992 constitution, and when you go to the political agenda, it states clearly that one of our fundamental focus is to unite all the different tribes that make up this country. When in the previous presidential election, and you saw that also in this campaign, they made a lot of their candidates made the foundation of their what's it called, claim to why the party should sponsor them on pure tribalism, crass tribalism. What the party say? Because the party more or less is ought to regulate how their members work, because you must behave in a manner that aligns to the party's values, that aligns to the nation's values, because the values of the party ought to also align to the nation's values. You get a picture. When you hear the words of the Asante Achem South MP in this election, you use very serious words like Nkwa. What did the party say? When his Excellency Dr. Bawumia made a claim that he ought to be president because of where he's from, what did the party say? When in time past, Ejepon said that if you are can take stick, look for your brother and hit him with the stick. What did the party say? Because all those statements were adverse to the agenda of the country. What did they say? I beg you. I beg you. Alaji, we don't do that. You see, Alaji. No.
Let him.
You see, Alaji, we don't. Alaji. I beg you. Alaji has a culture.
Yeah.
And the Alaji's culture, no matter. I beg you. Alaji has a culture, and you unlike the NPP, we will stick to the culture here. See, when somebody is saying something and you don't agree, you wait. You take your time, wait. Wait. Brother, I come to power more. This is just the foundation. I come to power more. I beg you. Then you can sit here. This is the culture of Alaji. You keep quiet. You keep quiet. You know, when you are speaking, I was just watching. I beg you. Zabu, don't do that. Zabu, don't do that. Now, the task before the NPP is to choose a leader who is going to be faithful to Ghana, the values of Ghana. when His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo looked into the eyes of the people of Ekunfi and told them that in spite of my oath to dedicate myself to the well-being of all Ghanaians, and obviously it includes the people of Ekunfi, because you did not vote for my MP, I derelicted my duty or I neglected my duty towards you. That the NPP issue a statement that, what the president is saying does not reflect the value of our party. Did they do that? You recall that in the Edgeso by-election, His Excellency Nana Akufo went and said that, listen, I can assure you that if you do not vote for the NPP's candidate, nobody can lobby me to bring development to Edgeso. Should we lobby you to bring development to the people of Ghana? What was the party's position? Now, I said that whoever becomes president ought to be faithful to the principles of probity and accountability. Whoever they choose ought to be faithful to the principles of probity and accountability. Now, if that's the case, then are you not surprised that in spite of those principles, in spite of the oath the president took, and in spite of the fact that when he came, he pushed for the creation of the OSP, making us to believe that he had some fidelity to the principles of probity and accountability. Now, in spite of that, and beyond the father serpent comment, you understand the letter that said that he is the father serpent of corruption. In spite,
mother serpent.
Mother, not even father. Mother Christ even because mother they have abadaye. So you have abadaye towards corruption. Father we say we don't have abadaye, but if you're a mother, you have abadaye. So he has abadaye for corruption. In spite of that, in fact, I'll not even go there. Are you not concerned with all the issues that are coming up, which makes you wonder that what was the president doing? The national service scandal. I know that they are innocent until proven guilty, but what's it called? Auditor General has made some findings, very serious findings. Our monies are missing. In spite, I'm not going to, as I don't go my brother's solo, I don't measure what people are claiming to have taken per their height. I won't go there. Because, the people wonder that, but even if you want to take, you consider your height. Don't take more than your height. I've seen people have taken more than their height. I won't go there. I won't even go there. I'll just stick by, you understand? But we had a president who took an oath that he's going to protect, preserve, and defend the constitution. And he watched on and NSS. His own cousin, who you remember in 2017, I remember we were having at water school, what's it called? In 2017, the 90th, what's it called? Founders Day celebration. He said Ken was the flavor of town. I'm quoting the president, he's the flavor of town. And Ken is alleged to have taken a lot of things. He's left the country, he says he won't come. He won't come. And all these things happened under the watch of Nana Akufo-Addo, under the president of the NPP sponsor. What was the party's position? What was the party's position? Galamsey. Go and read their constitution. They say they believe in the integrity of our forest and ensuring that they use their power to protect the forest. Prof. Barton is mad at the party. He thinks the party is fake. Because, you see, I listened to his interview with Padmoche. He said that, he has most of his friends at NDC. He said that even Papa J is his brother, not just a friend. In spite of the fact that most of his friends, about 80% are NDC, he somehow believed in what the NPP said was their agenda. And that's why he joined them instead of following his numerous friends who were NDC. Now he joins and he realized that, listen, after 2008, the party has not been filled by familiar spirits. He was charitable, we said they were fake, but he's been filled with familiar spirits. And you see, he came to that realization after he came out with a report. He came out with a report on Galamsey. And then when he had given the report to his president, Nana Akufo-Addo, believing that Nana Akufo-Addo is also flawed by a certain spirit that he believed, that's why he joined them in the first place. And in that report, he was very upfront. That listen, Anado, the reason why we are failing in this battle against Galamsey is because senior people in our party, apparatus in our party, are involved in Galamsey. Mention Sir John. Mention very senior people. Mention Gabi. That Gabi has been giving him calls. And strangely, Anado shelves that report for 2 years. For 2 years. And when that report got leaked, it was Prof. Poparty who was being invited by the office of the special prosecutor. Not the people mentioned though. It was Prof. Poparty who had to be trekking to the OSP. What was NPP's position as a party? What was NPP's position as a party? You recall Akontamai. I didn't even know that there had been a CID report. Apparently there was a CID report on it, granted to the president. He saw all those reports and yet came out to tell the people of Ghana that Akontamai is not involved in Galamsey. And we are talking about an issue that places this country, that creates an existential threat. And a threat is existential. But this is a threat that can wipe us, will make this our land a wasteland. We can't stay here. You understand? And yet Anado said what? What did the NPP say? But they'll keep quiet and they'll hail him. Because I'm telling you that the NPP as a political party is a party that does not have the interest of Ghana at heart. For them, it's about themselves, their individual interest. And you see that lack of regard for Ghana or love for Ghana, even how this campaign has been held. So this election, what is it? Would I be wrong if I say it is a Mantam election? You know Mantam, you know when they did their peace pact? On Thursday. And then on Friday, Brian said, hey, it was God who put me between number 1 and number 2. And that the tension was so bad that I had to use the word mantam. So you don't mantam a human being. When you say you're going to go into language, tree language, you mantam animal. I say mantam, one mantam. You don't mantam a human being. You mantam an animal. So when you are speaking to a typical tree person, they understand the words. Say, mantam nipa no, mantam no. That's the person is an animal. So after the peace pact, he said he had to mantam. So would I be wrong if I say this election to this election is the mantam election? The mantaming. They are going to mantam. The mantam election. In their campaign, did you also not hear that somebody is autistic? Yes, they said His Excellency Dr. Bamia is autistic, so they should vote for him. Yes, he's a special child. So is it an autistic election? They said they had opened Kennedy's head. They had opened his head. So he does not have control of his mental faculties. Yes. One man called Coca. And so, anyhow, so would I say this is an election of the lunatics? They said that. And you did not see the beautiful sentences. 10 cents of Baumia, 10 cents of Brian Champon, 10 cents of Kennedy Champon. So today they are going to meet Zabo and his people. And they are going to choose for us the chief sinner. They are going to choose for the people of Ghana the chief sinner so that we vote for the chief sinner. That's what they are going to do, NPP. If you are thinking about Ghana and you want somebody who is faithful to Ghana, you want somebody who is going to preserve, protect, defend our constitution, choose somebody who would dedicate himself to the well-being of the people of Ghana. You are telling the people of Ghana that no, they are sinners. They are sinners, all of them. Apart from, I think I didn't hear a sin of Kwabena Japan. So apart from Kwabena Japan, the 4, they are all sinners and they are going to choose one sinner. So which sinner do you want? They are going to choose a sinner. For Ghanaians, for us as Ghanaians, they are going to choose a sinner. And is this a fake contest? Because we have been told that the party is now fake. We are being told the party is now fake. Now, also, for me, if there's the biggest issue here It's even about the structure, because Nozabo took his time to go through the electoral college and said that NPP, they have a pyramid style. Zabo, you don't have a pyramid style anymore. You don't have a pyramid style anymore. Because we know that in their own practice, the best practice, after an election cycle, you organize a reorganization. Then after that reorganization, that new party executives would then choose their candidate. Then, because the candidate, they don't have a problem going to what? Campaign for. What has NPP done? Instead, they've kept that old, so right now in their reorganization, the first step for them is to choose their presidential candidate. And after they'll then choose the other officers. What are they doing? Understand? It gives us the impression that they decided that elections already decided for somebody. And to borrow the words of my own uncle Kosi, to create a fan club for one candidate, for example, Dr. Bombshell. But it doesn't make sense. So the people who are choosing him will not be the people who will be taxed to campaign for him. You understand? But that's their problem. For me, as a patriot, watching from the wings, my interest is that NPP as a political party, who has so many duties, chief amongst them, per their own, to choose somebody that will be, to choose people to hold political positions, be the executive, parliament, and all. That the NPP have demonstrated that they do not have the interest of Ghana at heart, and that the spirit that is going to fuel them in that choice is not a spirit of patriotism. It's not a spirit of Ghana. It's not a spirit that has the interest of the people of Ghana at heart. There's a party of people who claim that in politics, when you are sitting like in this table, on this table, where you are seated, and you don't see the person being used, then probably you are the one being used, and that nobody has the interest of the people at heart. What's Kojo Ponkoma who said that? That nobody has the interest of the people at heart, and that the reason why they do politics is for their own parochial interest. That if there's one word that I will describe the NPP in terms of their culture, their spirit, is one of parochial. They don't care about the country, and it's this parochial spirit that's going to dictate who they choose. So we are in town. We are waiting for the sinner that they are going to bring. We are waiting for the lunatic that they claim they are going to bring. There's one word they said I can't use. You all recall what Atachian said? Motherfucker. You all recall? Motherfucker. Yeah. All this has happened. And so we are watching. All of us are watching. We have put our Ghana hat on. And we are waiting for whoever they bring. Because I'm more than convinced that whoever they bring is not somebody that will be in the interest of this country. And so let them go and vote. We are here waiting. But let's make a last plea to the veteran members of the New Patriotic Party. Well, they said they have veteran members also. They have veteran members who have been displaced. They have veteran members who have become veteran because there's no home for them. Because what they thought of their home has been taken over by familiar spirits, evil spirits. It's been taken over by them. And they are exhibiting a character trait. They are showing principles which is alien to them. We've created a new home for them. They should come to the UP Plus. And in that home, they will be welcomed by patriots, by people who do politics because they love Ghana. By people who think that the only reason why we ought to do politics is to create is for that Ghana agenda. They should come home and together with all the other patriots of whichever party they belong, we would deliberately put our efforts to build a Ghana, to restore Ghana to its rightful place as the Black Star of Africa, as the leader of the Pan-African agenda. Because if there's a time for us to push that Pan-African agenda, then the time is now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lawyer Andrapia Dankwa is Director Legal for the United Party, and the note on which he concluded. Interestingly, some of them are even calling some of their friends in the NPP and reminding them, if it doesn't go well, we are here. So, hey, anyway, so 5 people that will be voted on today. The former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Kennedy Ejapong, who he competed with in 2024. And of course, there's Brian Champon who's joined the race. So those 3 are the formidable candidates that people have picked out. And then there is Yaosei Duchum and Kobna Ejapong. The polls are saying different things. Some polls are saying Dr. Bawumia will win. Others are saying Honorable Kennedy Ejapong will win. Global Info Analytics is predicting for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Good morning.
Good morning, Senator, and good morning to my fellow panelists and all the listeners and watchers of this pioneering show. Like I always say, it's a show that I don't take for granted because I've been coming here for at least.
What they call Kennedy Ejapong, what they call, was supported by the party when he made the infamous ethnocentric comments. In fact, and that was 2012. The party distanced itself from that comment. In fact, there was an official communique that was actually presented by the party distancing itself from that comment. So the party didn't actually support him in that particular regards, just to set the record straight. And then he also said that in Professor Frimpong Boateng's, what they call it, report, that Sir John and Gabi were cited for doing galamsey, and in fact, it's even some news to me. And I don't know what has become of that particular issue, if the report is still available and a new government has come. I mean, how far have they gone with that particular thing? This is something very strange, and I believe it will be very strange to many viewers today that Sir John and then Gabi Ochredako were cited for doing galamsey or involved in galamsey. And then the third one that he also said was that that the NPP will go and elect a sinner. Well, that one I find it a bit worrying in the sense that besides the NPP's party's constitution, there's a national constitution, and besides the criteria that the NPP constitution prescribed as to who qualifies to become a flag bearer, the national constitution also has the criteria as to who's qualified to become the president. So why not wait? If we elect a criminal, then the national constitution will be applied to get the person off the sin. And I don't even know who is a sinner here. And maybe that particular definition needs to be very clear. But clearly, I don't think what we've said here has anything to do with all the 5 that are contesting. And then the parliamentary primaries too, that you was talking about. Look, there is no any twist of the party's constitution. The party's constitution, in fact, even when we went and did the amendment, it did not even affect that particular portion. The only things I want, which you call initially the presidential edition was Article 13, and now it's Article 12. And when you go to Article 12 and Clause 1, it clearly states how our presidential primaries should be organized and the rest. So it is as and when the National Council deem it listen. That one, it is not like some election has to be done like the way they are talking, police station, electoral area, constituency, regional, diaspora, and national. No. It is not structured like that. That as and when National Council deems it fit. I hope you are getting me. And it's only that in the past we've been using the other way around, making sure that we start from polling station up to national, then we come to the flag bearer. So if we've decided to test the law, that on the other hand, of course I believe the other candidates, if indeed this was done to favor Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the other candidate, have they just joined the party? Or is it that the election committee knows the party's constitution more than the other candidates? Of course, they also have lawyers in their teams and the rest. They will have scrutinized that thing and then point it out to them. So that's just on lawyer Pierre Donka, this thing. And then my brother Kojuchun also said that I think with regards to he actually pointing out Dr. Baumia, the weaknesses in Dr. Baumia and that of Justin Frimpong Kodia. That one I think is very clear. This is psychological warfare that they've been dealing with us all this while. They always try to let us understand. I mean, it's just like you going to play a football match with somebody and the person will tell you that this person that you are bringing is not good. This person is better. This person is better, and what have you. You are not the one to tell us who should lead us and the rest. And if you think it's an easy decision, why not let us bring them and then you just be able to deal with them without even any effort. And then secondly, he also mentioned of the work that the NPP limited the number to 5. Here too, we have not changed anything. It's just that by God's grace, only 5 people showed interest, and they went went and picked the nomination forms, and then filed. Those who picked were more than 5, but those who finally filed were only 5. It was not trim. There was nothing like trimming it to 5. Those who finally filed their nomination forms were 5. If they were more than 5, we would have gone for super delegates conference before we come to the delegates conference. It has always been like that. So we have not shifted any goalpost. It is where it is. And then we also talk about the 1 million one constituency this thing vanish into a thin air. Of course, unless maybe I stand to be corrected, if you can pull out our manifesto and tell us that President Akufo-Addo, when he was campaigning, he said that the 1 million constituency, the $1 million to a constituency, there will be an administrator, or specifically this person is the one who is going to manage it, or the money is going to be lodged here on this particular account. So everybody will say the 1 million has come, and this is what it's going to do, and the rest. In fact, it was very clear that certain projects will be identified in those constituencies and the rest. And this 1 million will be channeled into those 2 projects and be done. And many constituencies have benefited from the 1 million one constituency issues. So there was nothing like there's going to be an office where you can go in and say that the 1 million has come. So I have this particular project. Give me part of the 1 million. There was nothing like that, and what have you. And then the double track system that it was is still in place. When I cross-check. Currently, both private and public, we have 1,300 SHS in the country. And then only public, we have 500 SHS in the country. And as we speak, only 99 are now doing the single this thing. The others, they are only saying that by September this year, the others will have phased out. So there's still double track in the system. Double track has not been totally eliminated in the system. And then last, my big bro also talk about Brian Acheampong's team not being able to get the album of the edition. When you file your nominations, normally you are given a copy. But this particular one that we're going to do, there were some variations. In fact, initially the party, normally when we prepare the album at the constituency level, 3 are prepared. 1 is retained at the constituency. 1 is taken to region and 1 is taken to national. And when we are to conduct elections of this nature, it's the national one that is brought to conduct the election. But this particular one, because we have now added formal executives and others, it means that some numbers has to be added and the rest. And then when these things were done, exhibitions were made for all the 5 aspirants to bring their agents to go through the list to make sure that nothing untoward or nothing fishy has been put in the list. And auditing was done again. And then besides that, they've been going around campaigning. So who are they campaigning to? Who are they speaking to? I mean, is it that they just say all NPP people should come and gather at a place and they are talking to the NPP people? They have the list. In fact, most of them have been giving them TNT because sometimes it's going to say rural areas and maybe the center is
a town, so they have to travel from villages to that place. They have their list. They provide them with their TNT to go back because they call them to come to listen to them. So definitely they have to foot for their TNT. And all. So how do they do all these things? So all these things, at least, I mean, if there's some sort of wrongdoing, I think we should just put, like Big Brother is saying, that this platform is actually educate people and then tell people as it is. So if there's something that is actually not bad, there are so many other things they have said that I have not tried to rebut or others because I don't have the facts and what have you. But as far as these things are concerned, I think it is very, what do you call it, open in the public domain. That how can you go around and become, so who are you talking to? They say, because as they move around, they are speaking to the delegates. They are not speaking to NPP members alone. The delegates who are going to cast their vote, they are the people that they are speaking to. So how do they get them?
I think that point was made on the basis of the projections and predictions being made by Musa Dankwa and the polls.
You've even brought another point. So Musa Dankwa, who is not even, part of those who ran him for, how did he get the list? How did he even get those lists?
Anyway, thank you. Luckily, everybody you've responded to, they are all here. So I'll start with Mr. Kojo Chumba for the second topic, actually. Yeah. The issue of the decision of the Supreme Court on the Pandai matter.
I'll go to that. I don't have too much to say, but let me just...
I think I also pass on rebutting what the things I was said, and to say that everything I said is factual, and their party do not have the character, the spirit, whose focus is to transform Ghana. It's all about what they will get personally. Now, in 1992, the people of Ghana took upon themselves this constitution, and this democracy is termed a constitutional democracy. So we say a democracy is constitutional because the focus is to limit powers. Most of the time, when we say limiting powers, our focus is on the executive. But when you read our constitution, you realize that even parliament's powers are limited. You understand? And sometimes the judiciary also has its powers limited. And this case represents a clear case of an instance where the powers of the judiciary was limited. You know, after the declaration of the results, the NDC felt that there were certain irregularities in Pandai, and so they went to court. They went to court after the declaration. Now, I think they went to court not within, you know, when you read the People's Representative Act, it says that when you have an issue with the result as declared, then within 21 days, you ought to go to court. I think they went to court after the 21 days. And then, what's it called? Went to court, managed to prove the irregularities. The High Court at Tamale then made a declaration that because of the irregularities, some people will say it again, he decided that the results of Pandai were null and void, essentially. Now the Pandai MP then went to court. I think there were a number of cases, and the one that went to the Supreme Court essentially was to ask the Supreme Court, or was invoking the original the supervisory jurisdiction. You know, the courts have various kinds of jurisdictions. So he went invoking the supervisory jurisdiction of the court to quash the decision of the High Court on the grounds that the court did not have jurisdiction. I think the Supreme Court agreed with the views of the Pandai what's called MP, and that was what I started by saying that we are in a constitutional democracy. So when you are at a court, the first question that you ought to ask yourself: do I have the power? When we say jurisdiction, it simply means power. Do I have the power to entertain this suit or not? And you know the powers of the court is granted by law itself. So the law says that if they do not bring the action within the 21 days, then the courts do not even have the power to hear the case in the first place. So I think it's pretty straightforward. But I want to reiterate the position of my senior brother Kojo here. I said that, you see, we can have a very beautiful constitution if the people do not have the courage of conviction. If the people, the sovereign, we do not have the courage of conviction, then no matter how beautiful a constitution is written, it will be useless. Because when you read the constitution, there's a reason why I think Article 4 of the constitution taxes the people of Ghana, we the sovereign, to defend the constitution. You understand? What happened over the past 8 years was a case where we saw what could happen, where a group of people, because of their parochial interests, will forget that they are Ghanaians and fail to fight for the cause of Ghana. The fact that suddenly these same people are jubilating over a decision which did not go in favor of the party in government, for me, is a little evidence of the reset agenda. But I want to say again that the purpose of this constitution is to defend our lives, to protect our lives, to protect our liberties, protect our fundamental rights to pursue our own happiness. What is in the constitution cannot be fulfilled. Our sovereignty cannot be fulfilled if we are scared, if we do not have the courage of conviction as the people to defend the constitution and its purpose, to have the courage to call on people we give our powers to protect and defend this constitution. I said that one of the biggest regrets of my life is that over the past 8 years, when His Excellency Nana Addo was delivering this Koshoko governance, the people of Ghana did not have the courage of conviction to seek his impeachment, his lawful removal by way of an impeachment. Yeah, we sat down and allowed him, Kojo's cousin, or Kojo, is your uncle? Kojo's cousin.
I love the way all of a sudden everybody, including NPP MPs, see me and point to me and say your cousin has destroyed the country. In 2016, when I told you not to vote for him,
that's why I'm also telling you that he's your cousin. You understand? We didn't have the courage of conviction to defend our constitution. When this man was appointing people who had partisan coloring onto the AC, weakening institutions of state, deliberately weakening institutions of state, we sat down and watched him. But the constitution is taxing us. Our constitution is taxing, I think Article 4. If you have your constitution, I need to read Article 4. So all citizens of Ghana shall have the right and duty at all times to defend this constitution, and in particular to resist any group, any person or group of persons seeking to commit any of the acts referred to in clause. So we think that sometimes we think that when the constitution is, it just meant to defend where there's arms and fiscal, what's called coup d'etat. Let's expand what this means. Let's try and expand what this means. So when we have people in power and they are acting in a manner which is breaching the constitution, its purposes, objects, we have a responsibility as Ghanaians to defend our constitution by ensuring that those people do not continue to stay in power. You understand? And so, for me, I commend the judiciary, but for me, if this constitution will work, if we achieve the purpose of this constitution, then the people of Ghana need to rise up, be awakened, and at all times be ready to defend this constitution, its objects, and its purpose.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Sabo.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.